Hi everyone, welcome to my beginners pen and wash series. So this is a series of short exercises step by step for you to learn how to do pen and wash. So I have got 3 brushes that I'm using today, a round number 6, a round number 10 and a number 2 rig. I've got a Cotman palette which is linked in the description, and I'm using a Uniball pen just in black, but you could use sepia and you could use a biro even. So it's all about learning how to do the expressive technique of pen and wash. So we're going to come on, this is a bit of Saunders Waterford, and I'm going to get some wash on first. So using my round number 10, I'm popping water on all over the paper. I'm going to get a nice even sheen. I don't want puddles, I don't want dry bits, so I'm looking for that nice even sheen. And then I'm going to come into my cerulean blue. This is going to give me a bit of a sky colour. I'm going to do a gnarly tree with lots of nice bark texture. So we're going to learn to contour today. So I'm just bringing in a little bit of blue within the sky. It's nice and simple. With pen and wash it can be really simple. And then I'm going to bring some sap green in for the grass. Can you see I've changed the stroke? So I've now got a horizontal stroke to denote the grass. I've come with quite a diagonal for the sky. Just going to dip into a little bit of ultramarine blue. If you've got different blues, then use different blues. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to pop a little bit of dark just towards the top there. I'm going to swap down from my round number 10 to my round number 6. And I want a dark brown. So the dark brown I've got here is burnt umber. But whatever dark brown you've got, if you haven't got a dark brown, burnt sienna and ultramarine make a very good one. So I'm going to pop in a gnarly tree. We're thinking a gnarly old oak. So I'm going to bring this in right the way to the bottom. Paint directional strokes as if the tree's growing up. An odd bobbly bit because that works well to do contours. And this is all still nice and damp, and because we're going to come on with the pen, it doesn't matter. It can be damp, it can flow a little bit more. The colour's quite thick, so it's not flowing too much. Get that nice colour on. And now if I want to make a bit darker, if I take a little bit of the ultramarine blue in, just choose the side that you want to be a bit darker, either left or right. I'm going to go left. Just bring a bit of that in on the left hand side. Just got that little bit of darkness there. So I've got a bit of a gnarly tree appearing. Actually, if I stay with the burnt umber, because it's quite a good one for doing some distant hedgerows, I'm just going to pop in a little bit, and it just gives us a little bit more detail just in that distance. Just vary the height of them. If I rinse that brush off, take all the water off on the kitchen towel, then I can just bring that brush along that bottom edge, and it stops it blending. It blends it, but it stops it spreading too far. So I get that nice area at the top, and then I'm blending that in at the bottom. If I take a little bit of the ultramarine, I can just bring that through, just to create a bit of variety in the grass as well. Okay, so I'll dry that off and we'll come on with the pen. Okay, so that's nicely dry. So the main pen work is going to come into the tree, but I'm going to just pop a little bit into the background. So I'm going to do a bit of a dark line. So I always concentrate on the darks when I'm doing pen. So I'm not outlining, I'm concentrating on the dark. So I'm going to pop that in because I know that that bit at the bottom of that tree line would be nice and dark. So that's just giving that. And then we're going to start to come onto the tree. So I'm going to start with the dark side and I'm going to bring down a line just on that side. Now I want you to think about the shape of each of these branches. Can you see how I'm curving? This is contouring basically. So I'm curving to create the shape of the branch. I wanted to create the texture in the bark. I'm going back and forth, but I'm also creating the contours. Now here we've got a bit of a gnarly bit, so we might make this into a big bulge. So I'm going to curve this way and then this way. So we're getting that little bit of a gnarly bit happening, and we might have one here as well. This is going to be a bit of a bulge, so we'll curve this way. So we're getting those bulges appearing. Then we can go bigger. So this curve is bigger on the trunk. It's curving round. So I'm going to come back and forth like this. Going smaller here because often when you get to the bottom of a tree you get different rooty bits where they curve in different ways. So we're going to pop more dark in here and we'll do one curving one way and curving this way. So you can see how that's starting to build up. Now if I take a few lines upwards, with the way the tree is growing, I'm following the shape of the tree. You see how that's all starting to form? I can bring a bit this side. It's that same curve building up. There's a little bit of a branch here, that's going to be a little curve. Come down this side. What I'm not doing is going around and outlining. What I'm thinking all the time when I'm doing this is contour, texture, variety, different mark making. So this is quite a strong line. This is a much lighter line. Pressure is important. On those lighter sides, keep lighter pressure. On those darker sides, you can go harder and more lines. Don't be afraid to leave bits to the imagination. You don't have to put everything in. Your brain will fill in the gaps. And the paint does as well. The paint is making a beautiful line there. You don't need all of the lines to be there. So if I bring a little bit down here, so this is just an indication of grassiness, something in the foreground, just wiggles and squiggles, just giving everything a balance. And then I can just bring in a few lines within the field, and that's working really nicely. You don't need to do the tops of the trees, let the watercolour do it. You don't really need to do a lot on all of these sides. You can let the watercolour be the watercolour. Pop in a few birds because it's easy to do birds with a pen. You can vary the sizes of them. I'll put in a couple more. We'll have a few birds in this one. They can be tapering away. Okay, so there we go, that's all finished. So it's a really nice example of how you can let the watercolour do its thing let the pen accentuate the darks and accentuate the contours. So you've done a little bit of contouring today. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll pop another video here and a playlist here, and I shall see you next time. Bye.